I want to help you and your family plan for your new swimming pool, and one of the big decisions you need to make is what kind of sanitation system you want to use. If you've been wondering if a salt system is a good option for you and your family, then this video is a must watch. I'm going to break down the 5 reasons why you should install a salt system and one big reason why they suck. If you don't know who I am, my name is Brandon Stevenson. I'm a second-generation pool construction expert and the co-founder of DIY Pools and Spas. Our company helps thousands of families throughout the country build their pools wholesale as an owner builder. And one of the first questions our clients ask us is, what kind of sanitation system do we recommend? And we always recommend a salt system. So I want to go over the reasons why we recommend salt systems and one reason why they may not be the best choice for your family. So let's start with the 5 reasons why they're awesome. The first reason is cost. The cost effectiveness of a salt system long term is ideal because when you do a chlorine based system, for example, you are having to purchase chemicals on a reoccurring basis, and chlorine is only going up in cost. All right. And if we ever run into a situation in this country where things get closed down again, chlorine is going to skyrocket like toilet paper. All right. And it's going to be really hard to get, and it's going to be very expensive to obtain as well. And then the other big cost of doing a chlorine pool that people don't think about ahead of time is the actual service. All right. Many people don't want to deal with balancing the pH in their pool, doing all the water chemicals, and so then they hire a service company to come out and do all that for them. All right, so that is another added cost to a chlorine-based pool. Now you do save on the front end because you don't have to install a system for a chlorine pool, but you're going to pay for it long term. That is why we really love salt systems, because the cost to upkeep a salt system is so minimal. You're buying 1-2 bags of salt per year. The bags of salt are like $30 each. You add them to the system and it's easy, it's done, and it's very cost effective in the long run. The second reason why is because of the maintenance. All right, there is very little to no maintenance with a salt system. You're gonna just simply add that bag of salt, okay, once or twice a year. It'll notify you and let you know when you need to add that salt into the system. Kind of like your soft water systems for your house. Very easy to maintain. You don't have to think about it. It runs itself, keeps the water pure, and that is exactly what your salt system does for your pool as well. It's gonna constantly be balancing that water, making sure it's at a constant perfect pH and cleaning it through the process. Now, common misconception is there's no chlorine in salt systems, and that is wrong. Salt actually has a natural chlorine, and so when the salt is broken down through the system, it releases that natural chlorine to clean the water. So your water is still getting cleaned the same way, but through a natural occurring chlorine, which means you're not having to dump all these chemicals into your pool. The third reason why we recommend salt systems is water quality, right? The quality of your water is going to be awesome because you don't have these seasons of adding a lot of chemicals. The water spikes, it's high in chlorine, then the chlorine slowly goes out, and it's, water's not so great quality over time until you have it serviced again, and then the chemicals spike and it's got a lot of chemicals in the water, right? So you go through these huge up and down spikes with a chlorine-based system. When you're working with a salt system, your water is always clear, always perfect all the time. And so water quality is one of the huge reasons why we recommend these systems. The number 4 reason that we recommend these systems is your health and wellness. All right, salt is so gentle on the skin. You could even say that it's beneficial for you to be in a saltwater pool. All right, and a chlorine-based pool is a very harsh chemical, right? You're dealing with a lot of chemicals in that water, and those chemicals do all sorts of things like fade bathing suits, turn your kids' eyes all red when they open their eyes in the water, and that can't be good if you're continuing to expose yourself to that chemical on a regular basis. And so what we recommend is salt, because salt is so gentle on the skin, gentle on the bathing suits. Your bathing suits aren't going to fade. You can open your eyes underwater and they don't burn afterwards. You don't get the red eyes. And I always tell people, you know, chlorine is a powerful chemical. Like if you spill it on your pants, it will burn a hole in your jean pants. And obviously that's concentrated, but still over a long period of time being in the water, this is not good for your skin to absorb continuously. And so steering away from chlorine and going to a salt-based system is going to be way better for you and your family's health. Number 5 reason we recommend salt systems is simply safety. So like I just said, chlorine is a harsh chemical, and having it around in your house to be used for your pool can be dangerous for not only animals, but also your kids. And if your kids get into the chlorine, we've got problems. Let me tell you a quick story. When I grew up son of a pool builder, right? And on our very first pool, we used a chlorine system. This was before salt systems really got popular and before they were really well known in the industry for doing a good job. So we had chlorine, and me and my friends looked up how to make a bomb out of chlorine. All right, craziness. Don't recommend it. But me as a wild child decided to go do this and make a huge ruckus in my neighborhood, and me and my friends got in big trouble. But you do not want to let your kids get into the chlorine. It can be very dangerous, not just for making explosives, but also for just simply touching the chemical. If they were to accidentally drink any, God forbid, it would be horrible. So highly recommend that you just don't have chlorine on site because it is such a dangerous chemical. All right, so those are all the reasons why we love saltwater pools. Now I want to talk about the one huge downside to a salt system, and that is snobbery. And I know this might sound crazy, but being that I have grown up around pools, I've had multiple pools in our family houses growing up. Most of our pools have always been a salt system. And because of that, I've kind of become a pool water snob. And sometimes that's not a great thing, right? Because we go to, let me just give you an example. My kids, they all love saltwater pools now too, because that's what we have. So my kids, when we go to a resort, their first question is it saltwater? And if it's not, they don't even want to swim in the resort pool because they don't like the smell of chlorine. They don't like the way it feels on their skin. And myself as well, I won't even usually get in if it's chlorine based because it makes my skin all itchy. I'm very sensitive to it, right? So it's kind of like when you eat really healthy. If you're eating really healthy all the time and then you have like a big splurge day and you eat a bunch of junk, you feel it. Where the guy who's eating junk all the time, he just doesn't even notice, right? It's like he's numb to the fact that he's eating junk, right? His body barely sends up a red flag. Same kind of process with chlorine and salt water. If you're always swimming in a saltwater pool, you will be more sensitive when you get exposed to chlorine. Also, you're gonna have that whole snobbery thing, which sometimes isn't fun. If you go over to, let's say, your brother-in-law's house and your brother-in-law has a chlorine pool and your kids are like, ew, I don't wanna get in your pool. Yeah, little snobbery, not cool. So just be mindful of that. That's the only downside to a saltwater system is your pool is going to be so luxurious. You're going to love it so much that it's going to kind of, taint your experience of non-saltwater pools. All right, so that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much. If you want to learn more about us, there's some links below the video. Check you later.